Welcome to the Nürburgring in the Elantra. Finally dug it out of the garage. It was deep in there. I thought I'd give it a little spin. Oddly enough, I got P1 position by not qualifying for the race. So, in interest of maximizing position 1, I decided to go for soft tires. Sort of a clever, not so clever idea. We get a great start off the line and pretty much managed to create ourselves a good bit of area from the cars behind. Ego Racer behind, almost out with Slipstream, whilst the rest of the cars are a little bit further back than that. This section of the track, I totally forgot, was part of the short race event, and this is where tyre compound choices may have not been the smartest of said choices. Breaking down a second gear here and turning in. Again, it's been a very long time since I've driven this Elantra, so I'm still trying to find my feet with it. It is very stiff setup, and the back end does like to come around sometimes, and the front end doesn't like to sometimes, which has contributed to me to losing 2 places. Thankfully, depth perception is almost 2 seconds behind. Now, it may not look good at the situation we are in now. We have lost 2 places down to position 3. There is method to the madness, and that being, I'm actually better at chasing than I am at leading. I know, crazy. I don't know, sometimes when you're by yourself up front and you have cars behind you, the pressure does start to build, and it's something that I spend too much time focusing on what the car behind is doing, and then mistakes happen that's in front. Just to watching what Frank is doing at the moment and trying to not hit them again. I do apologize, Frank, that was not intentional. Brakes were better than mine. Hopefully, at this bottom section here, the Hyundai will be under pressure and a situation may occur. Beautiful. So now it's just me and Frank. To be fair, the MG is a very quick car, and Frank is driving it like an absolute animal, and I'm trying to drive the Elantra like an absolute animal as well. Not wanting to put too much pressure on Frank here, because my idea is, if me and Frank can work together, we can get away from the cars behind. And then at the latter section of this track, where we're on the back straight, the pure brute power of this Elantra will blow past the MG, and I gain that position. So there is always a method. Well, it's a plan of action because the first plan failed. Let's put it that way. Coming down this back straight now, we are really setting a good battle speed, and that MG is absolutely flying. But we are reeling them in very quickly. I'm just going to let off. And you never know your luck. There wasn't any there. Braking down to second gear here. You can hear the brakes are very hard on this car. Like, you know, I'll put them on and it will stop. Don't you worry. Kind of brakes. And like I said, it's been such a long time since I've been out on this thing that it's very different character to a lot of the other cars. Again, like I said, the tuning setup is very stiff, and it does really do very well, this car. Shame that my abilities are not on par with the quality of the car. Hopefully improvements will be made upon myself, and we'll be able to try and catch up to Frank FS94 up in front. Crazy enough though, Harriet's 13 behind is 3 seconds away, so that's a good bit of breathing space for us at the moment. Again, I'm not right up behind position 1, giving them a little bit of space, not by choice, but it will benefit them because they will keep the pressure and power on without the added pressure of me being right up their tailpipe. I don't want Frank thinking that I am trying to overtake them and them taking defensive lines, things like that, which thoroughly slows us both down. I just want to make sure that we can both get away from the cars behind, and there's going to be some occasions at this course where I'm quicker than position 1 and position 1's going to be quicker than me. Usually that corner there where I usually meet the wall doesn't seem to happen as often as it used to. I brake a little bit earlier compared to other people. With this section here, I brake just after the road on the right hand side, let the car coast through and accelerate the other side. Really, it's more about what Frank's doing there, maximising more of the track. But although Frank is maximising more of that track, I was a good bit quicker through that section there. Thankfully, being 1 second away, if we plan this out right, one might be right up Frank's trumpet going up the hill. And you can see a bit of squirreliness coming from that car up in front. And you've really got to nail that corner coming out here. For this straight here, a tenth will be like half a second by the time you get to the top of this hill. It really is crucial that you get that part right. And thankfully, I'm in the slipstream of the car up in front. The brute force of this Elantra will just vacuum itself in and catch up to Frank FS and 94 up in front. Absolute brilliant race. The weather's on our side, the track's on our side, the cars are on our side. And it was really great to see an MG actually lead in the race. I think Frank got a little bit cautious there and was watching what I was doing behind, which has managed to let us benefit from said situation. Now we're breaking it down in second gear here, quite late actually, and a bit squirrely on the brakes. Frank has looked to make a move, but I managed to get on the power nice and early and get away. Coming up to the first corkscrew here, down to second gear, nice and tight in there. Poor Frank fell out of the corkscrew, which is going to do nothing but cost him time. And as you can see now, we're 1.2 seconds ahead, leading away. Harriet's 13 is right up Frank's trumpet, and hopefully Frank can hold him off, because to be fair, he's actually made quite a bit of gains, and it's getting me nervous, because if he's gaining that fast, that means they're a very quick driver. And this might not be a good time to point out, I'm already halfway through my front tyres nearly. Not great. Not great. Thankfully though, we're at least, what, more than halfway through this race course now. A little bit slow through that section there. And Frank is now 1.9, 1.7 seconds away. This section of the course though really does favour the bowl. If you can nail every corner and maximise as much of the speed as you can, it really does make a huge amount of difference. And I think overall we've done quite well, especially considering our tyres are now onto minor wear in the front. I have just come to notice though, something must have happened with Frank and Harriet's, because Harriet's is 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds ahead of Frank all of a sudden. So either Frank went gardening or Harriet's, wow, has really gained time on me. That is not good news. Harriet's is playing my idea to start with. I think they're going to be right up my trumpet this last section here. And it's really hard to get this car to, well, really maximize as much of this car as probably the Honda Civic behind, which is a great choice of vehicle. And them riding that car now kind of makes me wish I took that car. Alright, I get it. I can go faster. I know. But I'm figuring it out. I was hoping that you would make a mistake, sir, and it just didn't happen. Annoyingly. I mean, front tyres are not far off clicking onto moderate wear. They're certainly going to be on moderate wear by the time we get to the end of this run here. I was hoping as well that I would have had a better exit from that section there, or Harriet's didn't, and we can gain from that, but we didn't. I do wonder if they're on the same tyre compound as myself though. If they are not, and they're on mediums, this last uphill section of the track, they're going to really benefit from us. And they're going to overtake us now, which absolutely sucks. It's a perfect opportunity for them to overtake. As we come to the top of the hill, they've got the run. Going to come down the other side, and really, there's nothing I can do about this. Besides, obviously, block them, and that's just not fair. So I'm going to let off and create a little bit of stale area for ourselves. Hopefully they go to a wall. Yeah, well, one can hope, I guess. One can hope. I mean, our front tyres are onto moderate wear now, and they could well have been on medium tyres. They could have also been on destroyed softs. And I know the Honda Civic is kind of a bit more gentle on tyres than the Elantra, but I think overall for the race, it was absolutely astonishing. Coming P2 after all of that, I'm still relatively happy with that position overall. But it doesn't end there. The next race at Bathurst is absolutely incredible. But before we get there, I'd like to take a moment out to thank our channel members, which are Andy Good, Sigmatic, Daniel Adams, Crazy 8, AK47, Spectral Rain, and Kook Roach. Thank you guys ever so much for supporting the channel. And if you'd like to be part of this leaderboard, hit that join button down below, become a channel member, and get access to exclusive videos. On to Bathurst, where it's doing nothing but rain. Nothing like a good old challenge, especially in the mountain area, whilst it's pouring it down. Getting a great start off the line in position 3, coming in for turn 1, and we have a little bit of contact from the Honda Civic to the left hand side, and we managed to be able to tuck ourselves in behind the Audi up in front. I did aim to qualify for this race, but by the time the loading screen finished and I went into the qualifying session, I realised it was 10 seconds too late, annoyingly. Thank you to the loading screen, that just takes forever. Breaking into turn 2, with a little bit of contact from the Civic on the left, but we managed to make that move up the inside of the Audi and into position 1 we go. Now the question is though, can we hold position 1? I am in the beautiful Honda Civic for this race. It's pouring it down, I might as well pick a car that handles really well. And a car that we trust each other is the best way of putting it. Although it does like to play around sometimes. Coming up to the top of the hill we go. We are setting a very good lap time, trying to keep an eye out for the dry spots of the track, braving as much of the limits as we can, and almost going gardening. Don't give me a penalty for that. Thank you ever so much, Forza stewards, that is very much appreciated. Having a little bit of contact from the Audi behind, as they probably were hard on the brakes and just locked up. It happens, thankfully no harm and no foul. Now we just need to make sure we get out of this corner before they do. They're 0.6 seconds away at the moment. Get on that power, come on Honda Civic, break that toe from the car behind, keep to the left, they're staying to the right, they're drifting lazily behind me. We might be in luck here because 0.6 seconds away, this Honda Civic is pretty quick. They might not be able to close that door by the time we get into this braking section here. Braking just before the 150 board, down to 3rd gear, nice and controlled, cutting as much of that track as I dare to do so, trying to avoid those track limits. And out the side we are, 0.4 seconds away from the car behind, braking at the 100 board here, turning in nice and early and getting out of power as soon as I can. I'm trying to break the toe from the car behind because the Audi will be quicker in the slipstream, and I don't want to encourage a situation that we don't need to happen. 0.8 seconds away thanks to turn 1, and up the hill we go. They're no longer in the toe. I'm pretty sure they're no longer in the toe anyway. And we get a fresh bit of racing air. Oh, they're slightly in the toe, 0.7 seconds away now. But position 3 is 4.1 seconds away, and Guilty in position 4 is 5.2 seconds away. So we have a great bit of air to play with at the moment. Audi behind took turn 2, not very well, going really wide and almost hitting that wall. I get quite deep there and almost hitting that wall. Accelerating as early as I can, trying to make sure I maintain a steady gap from the car behind, not in a slipstream. I mean, to be fair though, if they are in a slipstream on this mountain section, it's not too bad, because if they get a bit of aero wash, they go and meet the wall, which is really convenient, I must say. Coming round in now, getting as close to that curve as I can, letting off ever so slightly. Car behind did go into the wall, we did not. Can we make this corner? Come on, turn. Yes, we managed it. Look at that. Again, not the fastest into that section there, but I'd rather err on the side of caution than end up going into the gravel pit, because it's so easy. Once you're in there, you can't get out of it. Like, you know, it's absolutely race breaking, that little sinkhole there. But we are 1 second away from the Audi behind. We're quicker through the S's down the mountain, and out the other side we go, 1.1 seconds ahead, which is great news, because there we are, not in the slipstream, and we can start to break away. It is a short race as well, only 4 laps in total, and the great thing about wet racing is everybody is on the same tyre compound, so the only difference is car, driver and tune. And I think that really does help a lot of things out with short races, because sometimes some people are on soft tyres, sometimes people are on medium tyres, And I think it's nice to have at least one area, like a third on the level playing field. You know, you're considering a third as in one of the thirds is a car, the other third is a tune, and the other factor is tyre compound. But yeah, 1/3 of it were equal. Anyway, digressing and moving on. 1.8 seconds away from the Audi behind. Dave Lee, 6.99468. We can hopefully get that to 2 seconds. Lee Draggy Bus, 57, 7.5 seconds away. Not too sure where Guilty's gone, but we have Gothic Art, 250071. Is almost 10 seconds away, which is really good news for us. I mean, more time away from me, the better, because if there is a mistake, we have a bit of breathing area to pick ourselves back up, tie our shoelaces, and try again. Braking down the second gear, nice and tight towards that wall, on that power, nice and early. And up the hill we go, clicking it into third gear. I'm going to hold it in this gear now, just feathering that throttle. Make sure we can maximise as much of the track limits without sacrificing speed. See, we're 3 times up on this lap already. I want to turn in. I wanted to turn in a little bit earlier, getting very close to that wall there. And come on, nice dry section here. Look at that, almost pretty flat out there. Very close to almost flat out. Down the hill, this section here, if you have a lot of rear brake bias, will and can bite you in the backside. So yeah, be mindful of that. 3.2, 3.3 seconds away from Dave Lee behind. Braking into this final corner off the mountain towards a downhill section. Very controlled. Thank you, Honda Civic, for behaving yourself in this race. 3.4 seconds away from the cars behind. 10 seconds away from the Draggy Bus and 11 seconds away from Gothic Art. I wonder where Guilty went. Kind of interesting to see where they are on the leaderboard at the end. There wasn't all that many people in this race, to be fair, which is one of the frustrating things about when you're going from lobby to lobby sometimes. So when you finish a race and you go continue to the next race, sometimes you get put into a lobby where there really isn't many people there. But it is what it is, and not much we can do about it. But coming around the final corner now, 3.5 seconds away from the car behind, about to start our final lap. We're going to be setting a 2:24.877, which is quite a good time overall, especially in wet weather. I think that's about 4 seconds slower, 5 seconds slower than my personal best, I think. What's my personal best here? A 2:15 I've set. So, okay, almost 10 seconds slower from the personal best in wet weather. That's not bad, I don't think. Bear in mind, personal best will be on soft tyres, dry weather, you know, so 10 seconds, I don't think that's too bad overall, really, if you look at it in the grand scheme of things. Well, 8 seconds, really, but I'm just rounding it up. 2 temps down on this lap alone, though, that is not great. But I think, in reality, I'm not overly concerned. Now is the factor of making sure I finish this race in one piece. Almost 4 seconds away from Dave Lee behind. Gothic Art 10 seconds, and Lee Draggy Bus is 11.5 seconds away. Steady, behave. That was close. I do also want to keep this as a clean lap as well. Could have certainly gone through that a lot faster. But again, like I say, preservation sometimes, and making sure you finish the race in one piece by sacrificing a few attempts here or there, totally worth it. Really is worth it. Coming through the S's here, absolutely beautiful. Not a touch of the wall, but it must have been really paper thin against those walls right there. So luck is on our side for this race, is what I can say there. Down this final section here for our last time, we are 4 seconds away from Dave Lee behind. And like I say, the weather overall hasn't been too bad. There's a few bits of sunshine poking through the clouds there at the moment, but I do miss the days of variable weather. I think if it was implemented better and some few changes were made, it should really bring it back, and it's something I would like to see. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Would you like to see variable weather back? I do miss it. Wow, how on earth did we find 3 temps all of a sudden? See, you win some, you lose some. We're going to set a better lap time in this race, are we? We're going to be setting a, well, it's going to be a 224.7. Ah, brilliant. Love it. Thank you all for watching. See you all next time.